Yo guys, sorry, you already know that today I'm bringing you guys my week 6 battle for the TBU. This week we're taking on Leo, otherwise known as 6-Foot Hacks, and his Durham Druddigons. I'm sure you guys know all about Leo and the fact that he's a really good battler, and the fact that we have been underperforming this season. So we really need to get ourselves back on track, because if we win out, we can still make the playoffs. And that's pretty much our only chance. If we lose one game for the rest of the season, there's probably not a chance for us to make the playoffs. This is pretty much it. This is do or die. So, obviously, I put in a lot of effort into this team, and if you guys want to see the full explanation, you can check out the team analysis video that was uploaded probably about 2 days ago at this point, because yes, this video is late. It is late because I've not had time to record it, because recording videos is something that I don't get to do very often, just due to some factors that I'll talk about at a later time and date. So, let's go ahead and talk about the battle that is happening on this time and date, and look at the fact that Leo has a terrifying team. He brought Garbodor off the bench, which, you know, is a thing. Necrozma, very scary. Lando T, very scary. Infernape, very scary. Miss Magus, very scary. And Ready Steel, very fat. So, lots of scary stuff that I had to prep for. I took Electabuzz off the bench, didn't bring it, but I see that Shaman did not show up, so that's very cool. It was something that I tried to get rid of with Slowking benching, but yeah, so my team is a specially defensive Arcanine, a specially defensive Assault Vest Komala, max speed Timid Lando I, very fast Excelgor, U-turn shenanigans, I think it was Focus Sash, physically defensive Black Sludge Dragalge, and a physically defensive Leftovers Palisand. So, if you want to know all the moves and all the reasons why, again, team builder otherwise, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So, of course, we are challenged by Leo, Pokemon Trainer Leodan. And we're going to start off with Arcanine because I wanted to catch the Lando T on the switch-in, and hopefully he sets up Stealth Rocks, or he goes for the Earthquake. I have a Sugar Berry, and then I can Will-O-Wisp it, but he starts off with the Garbodor. I thought about leading Lando I, and seeing this matchup, I probably should have done that, but oh well. I go for the Flare Blitz to see how much damage we do, and it's not going to be a Tuikio, which is very sad. Very sad indeed, and he's going to get up Layer Spikes, which is no bueno. I don't like Spikes. Spikes are stupid, okay? Like, I just don't like them. And, this turn, he withdraws. I figured he would withdraw, and if he didn't, then if he stayed in, it didn't really matter. I decided that a Will-O-Wisp was the best middle ground play, especially if you tried to catch something on a switch. So, I Will-O-Wisp, which is great if this thing is physical, and if it's not, which it's probably not, and spoilers, it's not actually that good, because I would much rather have this thing toxic, but I did end up burning it. But I kind of need to figure out exactly how much damage this thing is doing, so I decided to stay in because I am specially defensive, take that pretty easily, and Flare Blitz. But he is faster than me, and after the Flare Blitz recoil, I cannot live another one. If I didn't go for the Flare Blitz, well, I wouldn't have done that much damage to him, and but I would be able to go for Morning Sun. But I know I'm still faster than Ready Steel, and I have U-turn on my Excelgor, so if there's a way that I can get a clean switch in against the Ready Steel with the Arcanine, I can always Morning Sun up later, and Arcanine can still be useful. So now I go into Komala, because it's especially defensive, and Psychic is doing more than half to most of my team, because I think I calc that he's basically max special attack modest, or very muchly invested in special attack modest. With all the damage that Psychic is doing. So this was my best thing, so I probably shouldn't have let Komala take, like, damage, but I ended up doing it. He goes for the Morning Sun, reveals that he has that. Going into this battle, I was a little unfamiliar with what Necrozma does. Not necessarily unfamiliar, but it's just like I did research on, like, what it does, but it has so many different options that I really just had to see it before I could see, like, what it's doing. So that's that. But I do go for the Rapid Spin. That is the first time this season that I've gone for Rapid Spin. And we get rid of that layer of spikes. Figured it would be easier for me to switch in my other stuff. And as long as I don't let Garbodor set up more Hazards on me later, it should be okay. If I take another Psychic here, probably should not have done that. But again, I don't really have a switch into it. So I want to get some damage off and put him in a range where maybe I can catch him on a Morning Sun turn. And as you can see, I'm basically going to have to decide what I want to let take a lot of damage. Because I do think he's going to Morning Sun, but I got to play this game really aggressively, even if he doesn't. I need something that can kill if he doesn't. So I go into Lando I. If he Psychics here, I can live, and then I outspeed, and I can take him out with an Earth Power, which is great. Or he Morning Suns now, and now I can just get a lot of damage off on him. Lando I is a big threat to his team, and as long as it has some health, it can still put in work. That's the main thing. Because the things that are faster than it are just faster and going to do a lot, and the things that are slower are just going to get bopped by Lando I. So Necrozma, I'm finding out, is a huge threat to me, and I need to take it down. So you see Earth Power does a lot of damage, and the Psychic does a lot of damage, but I am still alive, and that's all that matters. And for me, now the best middle ground play is a Sludge Wave. I thought about going for Hidden Power Ice, but it was looking like a roll to maybe kill Necrozma. I couldn't quite tell. So Sludge Bomb is the better play. Plus, I don't take Life Orb recoil from Sludge Wave, and I would from HP Ice. So Sludge Wave, decent chunk of damage on Miss Magus, I suppose. And now I get to bring in Komala again, because that is my Miss Magus switch-in. But I took so much damage on it. I'm really wishing I didn't take all that previous damage on it. But he goes for Shadow Ball, which is fantastic for me. I don't really mind. Maybe should have seen that he wasn't going to stay in here, but it didn't matter too much because I don't really have any coverage to hit Lando. But he does switch into Lando, and I have a Lando switch in, so it's not the biggest of deals to me. But yeah, so I'm going to see that Shadow Claw do literally nothing. I have no attack investment, and he intimidated me, and he's a bulky Lando, so all that basically adds up into nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Lando switch in, which is Palisand, and I thought about putting a Culver Berry on this thing for this exact reason, because he goes for a knockoff right away, so it's like, whoops, that kind of sucked. I mean, Lando still can't take me out here, so it's not like the biggest of issues, but it's like I could have taken less damage, and obviously Leftovers didn't do anything for me, so it's whatever. But he reveals Leftovers, also seeing like the damage from knockoff. I can tell that it's very defensive, or like not very invested in attack, so that's really good for me because I was kind of scared of Lando. But he goes into Ready Seal here, and I had a feeling that he was going to go for Stealth Rocks, and this would have been a perfect time for me to go into Arcanine right here. I was really thinking it. I was like, I'm going to go into Arcanine, I'm going to heal up, and then maybe even burn him. There's so many things I can do, but I just stay in, which is so stupid, so stupid. But I go for the Earth Power just to kind of see what kind of Ready Steel I'm dealing with. And of course it's a fat one because all Ready Steels are fat, but it is fat on the specially defensive side, which really sucks for me because that's where I'm hitting it mostly from. Except for with Arcanine, which is, I mean, I really need to be careful of how I can even bring it in at this point. But he goes back into Lando, and I forget what I do here. I think I actually still stay in. Oh yeah, I heal up because there wasn't anything that Ready Steel could do to me, and I could win 1v1 if it didn't have Toxic, and it didn't go for it, which is good. Why I risked it, I'm still not sure. And now he's going to go for an Earthquake, but that's fine because I can take Earthquakes 4 days, and I believe I get a Toxic off. Yep, I get a Toxic off on this Lando, which is fantastic because this thing will be worn down eventually. It is still a threat to me, so I would like to have it dead. And that was the general game plan here, but yeah. So now I believe I go for some Shadow Ball damage. I don't need to always be at full health with this thing, so I want to kind of keep up some pressure. I was also worried about him U-turning into Necrozma. Did not want Necrozma coming in and healing up, because it would be able to do that against Palisand, so I go ahead for that Shadow Ball. And Garbodor is back in here, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. I can just take it out with an Earth Power, and he is going to set up a layer of spikes, but I should be able to take it out with an Earth Power here. There would be little reason for me not to, except for the Sugar Berry. That's one little reason why I can't. That Sugar Berry is going to save him, and I'm going to make a colossal misplay that doesn't really matter. As we'll talk about, I go into Komala because I wanted to get off a Rapid Spin. The problem with this is that Garbodor outspeeds, Now, actually, watching Leo's live comm, he said that his Garbodor was sassy, and so it was actually a speed tie, which is hilarious, because this was a complete misplay. I was just like, oh, I'll go into Kamala and get a quick rapid spin off, and I'll kill him with a rapid spin, it'll be great. Only problem is that he has a spin blocker, and its name is Mismagius. So, if I would have been smart, I could have went for a Shadow Claw, catch Mismagius on the switch in, and at least kill this thing, because this thing is stopping Lando I from sweeping his team. So, I mean, as well as the Infernape, but this one is tougher to deal with, I thought at the time anyway. So, but he's going to go for the Icy Wind, not kill me, and I do still get off a Shadow Claw, which I thought was hilarious. I was just like, wow. But Icy Wind was his only other attacking move. It was Icy Wind, Shadow Ball, Pain Split, and like something else, Destiny Ball maybe? I don't remember. So, yeah, he's just going to take me out with the Icy Wind. Had I went for the Shadow Claw before, I might have been able to take it out. He might have switched out, and then something else would have taken Shadow Claw damage. It really doesn't matter. But now I go into Excelgor, which right now I'm already thinking that I've lost, because Komala is dead, and there's 2 layers of spikes and Stealth Rocks on the field, which is not good for my team. But it's okay, Excelgor can still live another switch in and can do damage later, so I actually decided to U-turn here, which is great because I'm going to kill off the Garbodor, but then Aftermath happens. So, I can't live Rocks and Spikes anymore, so Excelgor and Arcanine both die to Rocks and Spikes, which sucks because those are 2 things that put a lot of pressure on his team. Excelgor is faster than his Infernape, Arcanine. If I could heal up, it would be a huge threat to his team, and both of those are just destroyed. I go into Lando, kind of forgetting that he switched out, sacked off the Garbodor, and can go back into this thing, so this was a misplay. I should have went into something else, but it really doesn't matter, because now I just sack off Excelgor, which technically dies to the Spikes, so chalk one up to Garbodor, which was super, super annoying. And we see what he does, which was Shadow Ball. Yeah, it don't matter. The only thing that can even live a hit from Mismagius that I could tell was Dragalge. First time I'm bringing it in, but I didn't really want it to take hazard damage like this, which really, really sucks. The safe middle ground play here would be to go for a Scald. It kills this and can potentially burn any switch in. But of course, I don't do that. I go for the Sludge Bomb. Why? Beats me. Wish I had an answer for you. Maybe Scald wasn't a guaranteed KO to Mismagius. That might have been it. But either way, I still should have went for it. Possibly caught a burn on something, and it would have been better. So I think I go for Scald. No, I go for Focus Blast this time. Again, I should have just went for Scald, but I don't. But the fun part is I actually hit Focus Blast, which is great, first off. And then I also get the, Special Defense Drop, which is great. I like that Focus Blast is able to do that. But unfortunately, Dragalge is not living in Earthquake, and I thought about switching into Lando I offensively, and then I could take this out with a HP Ice, which would have been great, or he would have just had to sack something, and then force me out with Mismagius or Infernape afterwards, but I believe I just sack off Arcanine here, which is good because he ends up going for U-turn, so this means that I get to keep up momentum and he does not, which is great. And then speaking of me going into Lando I and pressuring him out, that is exactly what I don't do, because I do the opposite of everything that I was thinking that I should do. But not that this is a bad play, I feel like this was my best shot. I go into Palisand, because I can still live a hit from Lando, which is great. After the spikes, I can still live. I'm still guaranteed to live in Earthquake. So I can go for Shore Up, because if he goes into Mismagius after I heal my health, I can actually take it out, which is great, because Mismagius needs to die so bad. I needed to die, like, incredibly bad. If I went to Shadow Ball, I could have taken out Necrozma, but it really didn't matter. And here I thought I lost. I didn't see how Necrozma wasn't going to 1v1 me here, because it can. Shadow Ball, I believe, does its max roll is still less. Actually, no, because he's more offensive. So I think I was always calcing with max HP Necrozma. So Shadow Ball might actually been a chance to 2-hit KO. So he just goes for the damage here instead of healing up, which is good on him because Now he's going to let this thing die, so that's cool. Palestine gets a kill. Always fun. And the Miss Magus is now coming in, and now I'm at low enough health where I cannot live a Shadow Ball, unfortunately. But Druddigons should still be able to. But I think you guys see where this battle is going, and I'll give you a hint, it's not my way, because the only way to end this battle is to take this thing out with Druddigons, which, yeah, I would have liked to do that before, but couldn't do it. And now I believe I go for the Scald to take him out, which this is the time that I shouldn't have, because he went for Pain Split. So I could have just taken him out with a Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, whichever one I have. I guess Sludge Bomb. But yeah, so I'm still like trying to make sure that he doesn't try and be cheeky and switch in any of his other things. So that's why I kept going for Scald here, because I didn't want him to be cheeky, switch in anything else, and then I can catch something. Because his last mons are everything that doesn't like Scald. It's like Landorus, Infernape, and like something else. I don't even remember. But this thing is going to come in and it's going to sweep up. This was my Infernape switch in, but it doesn't switch into Infernape when it has 29 health left. So that's a little sad. And right now my only hope is that Leo goes the same route as my opponent last week and has a misgen Mon or something where he doesn't outspeed my Lando for some reason. That's about the only hope I have. Even then, he would still probably have Mach Punch, which I don't remember if he actually did have or not. But it doesn't matter. He does outspeed, and he kills Landorus, and that's going to be a very crushing defeat. That is a 3-0 loss to Leo, and it is very sad. Very, very sad. I'm trying to look. Oh, Registeel was still alive, so it was Registeel, Landorus, Infernape that survived. None of them wanted to take Scald if he was going to be cheeky and try and switch them in. But either way, this game did not really go my way. I brought Rapid Spin, but I still sucked at the hazard control. I'm not really good at playing with hazards, apparently. My team is not good playing against them, even when I bring Rapid Spin. Yeah, I didn't have much from Miss Magus. This was just a kind of poorly played game. I don't want to say that I played that poorly. Leo just played way better than me. His prep was phenomenal, and his play was great, and that's pretty much what you expect from Leo. So I can't really see that there was anything that I could have or should have done. It probably would have came down to more prep. I prepped a lot for things that didn't show up, which I tend to do. Maybe I should do a better job of identifying the biggest threats to my team. I think that's the thing that I keep struggling with, I think. And these, you know, like I prep a lot for like Lando per se, but then Miss Magus kind of sneaks in there and still does a lot of work. So, in Garbodor was like an afterthought. I didn't really have like a lot of plans for it. I was just like, oh, I have 2 ground types, perfect. You know, I was like, Arcanine should do plenty. You know, like everything was just like, oh, I'll be fine. So, I don't know. I feel like I definitely under-prepped for the wrong things. Or under-prep, yeah. I over-prepped for the wrong things and under-prepped for the things that I should. And that really comes back to bite me. And I think it comes back to my team structure and just building. So, I need to keep trying to get better at that. But this is essentially going to kick us out of the playoff race, which really sucks because I wanted to make playoffs. I feel like the season's becoming a failure. I feel like I am getting worse and worse, so it sucks. But I guess you can't be too mad when you lose to Leo. He's got 1 loss all season, so it is what it is, and we'll just have to do better next time. We have 2 more weeks left in the season, which I'm just going to have fun with. I am still going to try and win, still going to do my best, and we're just going to see how it goes, because I still need to work on improving myself for future seasons of this and other leagues, so just going to keep trying to do that, and that's going to be it. So let me know what you thought about the battle, and I will see you guys next week where we take on Skyrander, which should be lots of fun. So we'll see how that goes, but that's going to be all for today. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.